A pair of eight, arguably the most controversial hand on the blackjack table. Even the so-called experts can't agree on the best strategy for this hand. In this video, we'll look at the pros and cons of splitting this hand and, depending on the circumstances, what you should do to maximise your winnings, or on certain occasions, the play that will reduce your expected losses. We'll also explain how the variation of blackjack that you're playing will have an impact on your decisions. This is especially true when a dealer has a 10 or an ace. If you've been at the blackjack table longer than 10 minutes, you've probably heard the advice that you should always split a pair of eights. And on the surface, the argument for this move is a compelling one. The general advice is that when you get a pair of eights, you have the worst possible score total of 16. If you stand on 16, the only way to win is to sit and pray the dealer goes bust. And if you hit, you have a 61% chance of going bust yourself. By splitting your eight, you get to play two separate hands, each with a starting point of 8, and an 8 is a much better starting point than 16. Let's see if this general advice holds true in all hand situations. When the dealer has a face card of 2 to 6, all of the experts agree that splitting 8 is the best strategy. The dealer has a weak up card, and we want to get as much money on the table as we can to maximise our winnings. With a bit of luck, we could turn one of our hands into a 10 or 11 and then get more money on the table by doubling down. If we receive another 8, then we can split again. It's important to remember that in some casinos you're not able to split again or double after splitting. Make sure you're playing at a casino that have good rules. If you're struggling to find a casino with good rules, we've created a quick 2-minute quiz you can complete, and we'll help you find the best casino for you to play at based on your preferences. Check out the links in the description. When the dealer is showing a 7, we again want to split our 8, but this time it's for a different reason. If we consider basic blackjack strategy, the maths tells us to hit a 16 against a 7. That's because the dealer only has a 30% chance of going bust. But as we mentioned earlier, we have a 61% chance of going bust when hitting our 16. Now, if we split our 8, instead of being favourite to lose the hand, we can hope that at least one of our 8s will turn into an 18 and make us favourites to win that hand. If we win one hand and lose the other, it's far better than our previous situation when we were likely to lose the hand either by hitting or standing on 16. A situation where the dealer is showing an 8 is very similar to our previous example with the dealer's 7. However, the situation is slightly worse. The dealer now only has a 23.8% chance of going bust, so we certainly can't stand. Technically, the best play here is to split our 8 and hope to win at least one hand. It's less likely than before because even if one of our hands turns into an 18, there's a 38% chance that the dealer has a score of 18 or higher right away. Now we're getting into the really tough spots. As an ex-blackjack dealer, I've seen countless people argue about how to play the next 3 scenarios. It's vitally important to note that the following situations have a negative expected value. That is to say, when you are dealt a pair of 8 against the dealer's 9, 10 or ace, you are favourite to lose your money. So now we have to shift our mindset to reducing our losses rather than maximising our winnings. When the dealer is showing a 9, is splitting 8 a wise move? I've already explained that mathematically speaking, we're going to lose money on this hand no matter what option we choose. If we hit, there's a 61% chance we go bust and lose right away. The chances of us losing are actually even higher than 61% because we could not go bust and still have the dealer beat our score. If we stand, the dealer has a 23.3% chance of going bust, meaning that there's a huge 76.7% chance they make a hand and beat us. Sounds very similar to our previous situation against the dealer's 8, right? The difference now is even if we turn our hand into an 18, with the dealer having a face card of 9, there's a larger probability they will still beat us. Do we really want to put more money on the table with this being a possibility? The mathematicians will tell you should still split this hand. Over a simulation of all the possible scenarios, you will lose less money by splitting your 8s. However, we're not playing all the possible scenarios, we're playing this particular hand right now. I would make a very strong argument that if I was low on chips, then I would prefer to hit this hand rather than split and potentially lose twice. Here's why. I would rather avoid putting more money on the table in a situation where I'm favourite to lose my money. As the saying goes, live to fight another day. By accepting I'm likely to lose the hand, I have no problem in protecting the rest of my money by refusing to split and just hitting the hand. Having said that, if I've got plenty of bankroll behind me, I will follow the mathematician's advice and split the hand. What about a pair of 8s against the dealer's 10? Some extra considerations that we need to keep in mind in this situation include the type of blackjack table we are playing at. Little rules that may appear to be inconsequential will actually have a dramatic impact on our strategy. Questions we should be asking are the following. Does the dealer have 2 cards, and have they checked to see if they have blackjack? If I split and the dealer does have blackjack, do I lose all of my money or just the original bet? Can I surrender? If the dealer has already checked and confirmed they don't have blackjack, then we can consider splitting this hand. Likewise, if the dealer only takes our original bet when they have blackjack, then mathematically speaking, splitting our 8 is the optimal decision that will reduce our losses in the long term. If the rules state we're going to lose both our bets when the dealer has blackjack, then I certainly would be advising against splitting our 8s. 7.5% of the time, we'll lose both hands no matter the score we make. On some blackjack tables, the option to surrender is available. This is when you simply forfeit the hand, but in doing so, you only lose half of your bet. This option will make a lot of you cringe. The thought of waving the white flag, giving up on your hand, is not something you would want to do. I understand the thought process behind this, but considering your options, just losing half your bet might be bad for the ego, but it's good for your bankroll. When we're playing against the dealer's ace, the probability that the dealer will have blackjack has now increased to 30%. Absolutely do not split your 8 against an ace if the casino is going to take both bets should the dealer have blackjack. 4 in every 13 hands, you've just given twice the amount of money away and you didn't even have a fighting chance. There's another rule we have to consider when the dealer is showing an ace, and that's if the dealer hits or stands on soft 17. The best situation for us as the player is if the dealer stands on soft 17. This is especially true if we're splitting 8, and here's why. The most common score we'll reach when splitting our 8 is 18. That means the only way to beat the dealer is for them to go bust or have a score of 17. Looking at the dealer bust rate chart, we know there's only an 11.6% chance of the dealer going bust. And so what we'd really like to see is the dealer pull a score of just 17. If the dealer is hitting on soft 17, then that likelihood has reduced considerably. Personally, the only situation where I'm splitting my pair of 8s against the dealer's ace is if the following circumstances occur. I will only lose my original bet if the dealer has blackjack, the dealer stands on soft 17, and I am not low on chips and losing this hand isn't going to send me home. If all 3 of these boxes are not ticked, then I would make the argument hitting is the best option for 8 against an ace. As you can see, the subtle rules and variations of blackjack, and all casino games for that matter, can make a substantial impact on our win rate. For that reason, I strongly suggest you complete the quiz in the description to find the best casino for you. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.